So, good evening. Good evening, everybody in the chat room already. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody watching live already as well. Very, very much appreciated. I know that you're all missing Love Island, and we know how important that is. But guess what? You can all catch it on +1 at 10 o'clock. So, yeah, don't let me hold you up. Just chill, just watch the stream and then go and watch your little daily intake of Love Island, because I know you're all bang on that right now. But yeah, I thought I'd do this stream about how reactionary our fans are. Why are we so reactionary? Why is our fan base so reactionary? I genuinely do not get it. I know that social media plays a massive part in that. I know that Twitter is probably the most toxic of social media platforms out there. For me, it is anyway. Instagram's all love and all chill. YouTube's the same. I don't have Facebook and I never use my Snapchat. So yeah, Twitter for me, you put something out on Twitter and you can't portray the way you want it to go and sound. So people just jump on it and they all think that they're bad men on Twitter. So they all love to start abusing on Twitter and calling you every name under the sun. That's not the case on Instagram. You can't really be trolled on Instagram, whereas on Twitter you can get a series of tweets get retweeted non-stop to the point where it goes viral at some points. Whereas on Instagram, yes, people can repost your stuff, but very rarely, very, very rarely, you can swipe and delete comments and stuff like that. So, but let's talk about Instagram and let's talk about why I'm doing this video, because I've seen that Aubameyang's caused a bit of a stir tonight, and again, this is what I mean by reactionary. The post that was put up was by a.f.c. It was the Claude and Ty show, and the title reads, "Unai Emery is just is at Arsenal as a puppet." That's what Gunnar Claude believes. Big up Gunnar Claude. He's a friend of mine, very good friend of mine. And if you ain't subscribed to his channel, get him up to 20k. He's very, very close to that. So, but Aubameyang, our record signing, has liked that. James says, "You care too much about your YouTube donations." James, keep watching, mate. Thanks for the support, buddy. Really appreciate it, mate. You could be watching Love Island, but you're sat watching me talking into a Mac. So thanks for that. I really appreciate it, buddy. But yeah, Aubameyang has actually liked that post, and it sent Arsenal fans into meltdown as usual. This is what Arsenal fans do. They love to have a meltdown. They love to go off on a mad tangent about certain things. Listen, at the end of the day, he's liked a post on Instagram. What's the issue? Yes, it says that Claude thinks he is a puppet and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, maybe he likes Claude's opinion rather than the actual comments from Claude. Maybe he just likes Claude. Maybe he likes listening to Claude, instead of the fact that he's called him a puppet. Good evening, Sam. We need to have a beer soon, man. It's been way too long, bruv. We need to meet up. You live literally around the corner. But yeah, I do like the fact that Aubameyang watches and listens to what the fans have to say. I do like that. I think that's really good. He's a record signing for the club. And, listen, the guy don't have to sit there and watch AFTV or any of their videos, does he? Or anybody else's videos for that matter. So yeah, I think that that's the first thing that we as fans, not me. I only see this news about an hour ago, and I thought, wow, really? Like, everyone's gone into meltdown about it, about the manager, about how crap he is, and about this and he's that, and blah, blah, blah. The fact of reality is that a lot of these people that are hating on Unai Emery will not have a bad word said against Arsene Wenger. They will literally die for the cause. You can't say a single bad word about Arsene Wenger, but oh no, you're allowed to sit there and cuss off the manager that's been here for a year and inherited all the absolute crap that manager left behind, to the point where we couldn't sign a player in January because of his cock-ups. And we're still going to be picking up the mess of his cock-ups, not just his, but Gazidis as well, for the next 3 or 4 seasons. So I think that that's the first part of it. The second part of it is people will do absolutely anything. They will sell their fucking nan on Twitter to get a couple of retweets and a couple of likes from bigger accounts to to get a bit of notoriety, a little bit of, oh, look, a big account spotted me and retweeted my shit. Like, get a fucking life. Like, seriously, get a life. Yeah, if all you care about is a couple of people retweeting your shit on Twitter, you need to seriously have a word with yourself, because there is more to life than tweeting on that platform. Maybe get a missus, I don't know. Maybe get a fella, whatever floats your boat. But at the end of the day, the fact Aubameyang has liked that post says fuck all. It just says that he's liked a post from a.f.c. Yes, the title is Claude calling him a puppet. Now, does Aubameyang believe that? Does Aubameyang like that, knowing that it gets spotted, that the club may see that? You know, the club obviously watch all of their players' Instagrams for sure. They've got a media team that will do that, a social media team that will be following and watching every single thing our players tweet, put out on Insta and stuff like that. Excuse me. Now, a lot of these players don't even tweet or put out stuff on Insta themselves. It's done by their agent. A lot of the time, Mesut Ozil, for all you people that think it's Mesut Ozil tweeting or putting Insta stories out and stuff like that, it's not. An Instagram story, yes, maybe, because obviously he's featuring in the story if it's a live video, for example. But if he's putting an Instagram post out or a Twitter post out, that is not Mesut Ozil. That is his agent that does that. Aubameyang does use his Instagram. I get that. And yeah, listen, at the end of the day, he's like to post that calls that Claude's called the manager a puppet. Now that's Claude's thoughts on it. Is that Aubameyang's thoughts? We don't know. He's liked the post. Don't mean that he likes the text that was in the post. Maybe it means he likes Claude, or maybe he likes listening to Ty. Who knows? Maybe he likes AFTV, follows them. So why wouldn't he like certain posts that they put up? Obviously, when you like a post, that spreads it to all of your followers, because when people scroll across and see what Aubameyang's like today, that opens it up to another 8 million people. So maybe he's just liking content. Who knows? Second thing I'm going to speak about is Lacazette. Again, reactionary. He is on holiday in Miami, and fair play to him. It's a beautiful part of the world. But he is on holiday with Samuel Umtiti. So guess what? Lacazette's on holiday. Umtiti's next to him. Oh my God, we're signing Umtiti. Fucking seriously, man. Seriously, what are you lot on? Not you lot, but what are these people on? I just genuinely don't get it. And this is what happens with social media. You've got a platform there that is a global platform that is open to anybody of any age, because nobody actually fucking restricts it or polices it. You're supposed to be 13 to have a social media account. My daughter set up a Snapchat account without me even knowing, and she's 9. As soon as I got wind of that, I fucking deleted it, because you have to be 13, and I don't want my 9-year-old on social media. There is a hell of a lot of kids on social media all over the world that have a footballer as their profile picture and start cussing people left, right, and centre because they think they look cool. And then they get other like-minded twats like their shit and retweet their shit and say dub. Like, what the fuck does dub mean? Come on, man. Like, at the end of the day, we ain't signing Samuel Umtiti. Can we just put that to bed right now? We are not going to sign that guy. He is on holiday with his friend, who is Samuel Umtiti. So let's just put that to bed now. Why wouldn't he be on holiday with his friend? They're both French. I'm sure they've played together before in the French national team. I know Lacazette don't really get a look in anymore, but surely they've played at youth setups and stuff like that together, maybe. So why wouldn't he be on holiday with his friend? You know, you go on holiday with your friends. I go on holiday with my friends. Why wouldn't he go on holiday with his friends? But our reactionary fan base see 2 and 2 and make 5. I just genuinely do not get this fan base sometimes. Sergio, thanks for your donation. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Fans want Emery out after one bad season, but Wenger had several underwhelming seasons and is not immediately kicked out. Flip-flops need to make their minds up and back the manager. Precisely, mate. And this is the thing, right? People give Arsene Wenger a pass based on stuff he done a decade ago. Oh, yeah, well, you can't kick him out. He was invincible. Fucking hell, that's nearly 16 years ago. Yeah, 15 years. 15 years ago, we last won a title. But this manager comes in, picks up all the pieces that have been left behind by that manager. Allowing the Aaron Ramsey thing to go down to the last year. him to see Mesut Ozil on 350 grand a week, so then Aaron Ramsey thinks he can get a bit of that pie. He's like, oh, I want a bit of that, yeah. And then the club have gone, sorry, mate, you ain't worth that, because Ozil ain't worth that. Why the fuck's Ramsey worth that? So, you know, the manager's had to come in and deal with that. He's had to come in and deal with 3 players getting season-ending injuries. He's had to come in and deal with certain players in this squad that walk around thinking the fucking club and the world own something. You know, you got Mkhitaryan who plays when he feels like it. So, do you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I just think that, you know, this manager is dealing with the aftermath of a decade of absolute mismanagement. And if you're giving up on that manager after one season, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. Who the fuck am I to tell you otherwise? That's your opinion, yeah? Right? At the end of the day, these people that don't give Emery a little bit of time, but gave that last manager the last 4 or 5 of them seasons, I don't care about a couple of FA Cups in there, right? Because he only started taking the cup seriously again when his job was on the line. And then he started playing proper teams in the FA Cup again. Instead of playing the reserve teams, he started to play for 6 years when he couldn't be fucking asked because top 4 was a trophy, his words. So anyone who was backing that manager for 4 or 5 seasons, the last 4 or 5, and would still have him as manager right now, but are sitting there cussing off Emery, number one, how old are you? Genuinely, how old are you? Because you must have been born while Wenger was manager of this football club, because anything before that is dismissed. And that's another thing that winds me up. Not only our fans, but our social media team, Arsenal social media, dismiss absolutely everything pre-Arsene Wenger, which is why I nearly fell off my fucking seat today when I see they're tweeted about Dennis Bergkamp, the greatest player we've ever had. So yeah, maybe they watched the video. Who knows? But yeah, we ain't signing Samuel Umtiti. We are not signing him. Yeah, let's be real. We are not spending £50 million. And this is another thing, right? All our fans sitting there, not all of our fans, but all the ones that are sitting there saying this, oh, we're going to sign Umtiti for £50 million. Have you all forgotten that you all told me the other day that the budget was 40 million? How are we signing him then? Because apparently we pay up front for the fee. So how are we doing that then? Because that's 10 million quid over budget. We've already spent that 6 million quid on Martinelli. Surely we're doomed. We've got no money left. How are we buying Umtiti? Or maybe I was actually right and you pay in instalments for players. Just maybe. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we ain't spending £50 million on that player. Ain't happening. Thank you, VP. Rabat, thank you as well, my friend. Liverpool fans are also reactionary until we had suffered long enough to stop that and accept that change has to occur gradually. Exactly. I remember after one season, Liverpool fans giving it Klopp out, Klopp out. Yeah. Where are all them Liverpool fans saying Klopp out now? Because they've just won a Champions League after getting to back-to-back finals and finished 1 point off of unbelievable Man City team. So, you know, come on, man. At the end of the day, these same people that sit there and tell me that Unai Emery is an issue, the same ones that were backing the last manager, happy to finish 6th, happy to finish 5th. Oh, but who's available? We can't compete. What makes you suddenly think now that it's going to go bang overnight, we're going to suddenly compete with Emery then? Yeah, what makes you lot think that? Why would you all have anybody who wants Wenger back? Why would you all want Wenger back? What has that guy done to this football club in the last 10 years for us to go, yep, let's bring Arsene Wenger in. Let's keep him in a lifetime job. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. And this is what winds me up. Listen, at the end of the day, like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? I get that. You don't have to agree with mine. I don't have to agree with yours. But when I see utter bollocks being tweeted about bring Wenger back, bring Daddy Wenger, oh, Arsene's gone and done it again. Fucking come on, man. You're only doing it for retweets and likes on Twitter, right? At the end of the day, you've either got something seriously wrong with you, or you ain't old enough to have witnessed life before Arsene Wenger. And listen, that ain't your fault. Yeah, you can't dictate when your mum and dad have a little bit of nookie and get pregnant. Yeah, I get that, but at least learn the history of the club. At least learn about life before that guy, because the way it goes on, on social media is like it's only the older lot who give a toss pre-Arsene Wenger. You know, even our social media at Arsenal don't give a fuck. They don't even tweet about Herbert Chapman taking over the other day. I think it was the 10th or the 11th or whenever it was. It was the anniversary of the day that guy took over as our manager and turned us into a world-class football team, won us our first trophies, first league, first cup, won us 2 titles in the end, and then died on the job. And our football club never tweeted one single sentence about that guy. That tells me all I need to know about Arsenal Football Club. They don't give a fuck about anything unless it's getting them retweets and likes to the masses online that suck that shit up. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's frustrating because I've seen George Graham, I've seen Bruce Rioch, I've seen Stuart Houston for a short time when he was caretaker, I've seen Arsene Wenger, and now I've seen Unai Emery. Right, and at the end of the day, the club is the star, as Kenny Ken always says, and it is the star. So who gives a fuck about one man at this club? Yeah, who cares? And like all this like reactionary stuff about the Aubameyang liking that post and Titi, the other reactionary one now that gets likes and retweets is Stan Kroenke. Yep, let's start tweeting hashtag Kroenke out. That'll get me loads of likes. Like, come on, seriously, do you think a multi-billionaire is sitting on Twitter giving a fuck what any of us say? He don't even look at Twitter. He don't even look at Arsenal, let alone Twitter. So, yes, whilst it's all great and it's a great idea, I get it. I genuinely get it. You know, there's a lot of these people that are sitting on there with their Kroenke out to gain a load of retweets and likes. These are the same people that were singing Wenger out. And then when a protest happens, where were they? Oh, yeah, they couldn't make the protest. They were still sat at home. So it's all well and good coming up with all the mouth online. If you want to get the owner of this football club out, you've got to do a hell of a lot more than tweeting hashtag Stan Kroenke out. So there you go. But everyone seems to have jumped on it in the last 24, 48 hours with the Kroenke thing. And everybody who watches my streams on a regular knows my thoughts on Stan Kroenke. I'd rather have another owner, but he ain't the biggest issue, and he never was. The biggest issues at this football club, one of them's walking around Waitrose looking for baguettes, still ain't got a job. And the other one is currently fucking up AC Milan. Them two were the reason our club is in massive, massive issues right now. Not Stan Kroenke. Stan Kroenke don't pick the team. He don't pick the players. He don't reject 60 million for Alexis. He don't let Aaron Ramsey run a contract down. He don't let Santi Cazorla walk out for fuck all after giving him another £3 million for doing nothing while he was injured as a goodwill gesture. Yeah. He don't give Abu Diaby another 5-year contract. He don't give Jack Wilshere endless contracts and let him walk out for nothing. Fabianski walked out for nothing. You know, swapping Alexis Sanchez for Mkhitaryan after rejecting 60 million. Is that Stan Kroenke, the man that's only concerned about money? All of these fucking mishaps over the last 6 years, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it may be, if you add up how much money we have fucking spunked in that time, it would total up to a squad better than Liverpool's. And that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. £60 million on Alexis alone. 40 to 50 million on Aaron Ramsey alone. Maybe more if he was under contract. Aussie Guna says Stan Kroenke doesn't help when he should invest money and he can't be blamed for all the dumb decisions at the club. To be honest with you, mate, he was never going to invest money because he brought into a self-sustaining business model, which was self-sustaining before he turned up at the football club, which is the whole reason we sold our soul and moved to the Emirates Stadium, to be self-sufficient. He then turned up about 18 months after that move and was introduced to the board, brought about 12%, 11% into the club, and then gradually got more and more and more. Now, at the end of the day, he is now the full owner of our football club. Now, this is where you now judge Stan Kroenke. Yeah, that's how I see it. But at the same time, he's never going to invest money. So what can you do? Why would he invest money? He sat back for a decade, not being the main guy. He's been the major shareholder or the majority shareholder, but the other shareholders still had a say. They still had to go to a vote. You know, you can't just sit on the board of another meeting and go, right, well, I'm the majority shareholder. What I say goes. It don't work like that in business. You know, everyone's got to have a little vote on that. And then they come to the main objective after that and take a vote on it, and the majority wins it. Right? Now, at the end of the day, the way I see it is, Brent, you've said the same thing, yeah? Kroenke sat back, and thank you for that, mate, sat back and let Gazidis and Wenger ruin us. Do you know what? I agree and I disagree with that, right? Because I agree that he sat back and didn't get involved. But at the same time, think of it this way, right? I said this to a friend of mine earlier, yeah? You're a multi-billionaire. You know fuck all about football. You know nothing about football, right? You go and buy into a club. You buy 10%, 12%, whatever it was he brought at the very start, yeah? He then brought his way higher and higher up the club, yeah? Cool, right? Now, these people were at the club before him. All of the board members were there before him. All the other shareholders, stuff like that. Ivan Gazidis and and Arsene Wenger. They're all there. They're all there. Now, when he become the majority shareholder, what is he going to do? Is he going to start ringing up and phoning up every day talking about football when he knows fuck all about football? No, of course he ain't. You know, he's going to leave that to the apparently world-renowned fucking superstar manager that we had that knows the ins and outs of a fucking a 9-year-old footballer and a 49-year-old footballer, knows every single player in the world, which is what he said. Well, when we signed Mavropanos and he was asked about Mislintat, and he sat there and totally mugged Mislintat off saying, oh, well, you're acting like we don't know who all the players in the world are. Like, the arrogance of the guy, seriously, right? But he left that club in the hands of Arsene Wenger, who had been in the game 30 years, right? And Ivan Gazidis, who was paid a fortune to be the CEO. Now, that is how business works. If I go and buy Costa Coffee, a franchise of Costa Coffee, right? I don't know fuck all about coffee apart from I drink it, right? And I'm a multi-billionaire and I go and do 100 bags, for example, on going and buying a Costa Coffee. Do you think I'm going to phone that guy up every day, the manager that I've left in charge? Do you think I'm going to speak to him every day? No, couldn't give a fuck, because I know it's going to make me money. And that is why he brought it. And the quicker Arsenal fans get it into their heads that this guy did not buy Arsenal to throw money at it, he brought Arsenal as an investment. So then later down the road, when he comes to sell that investment, it's worth more than what he paid for it. Yeah. The fact that he has sat there for 11 years, not as the main owner of that football club, by the way, as a shareholder, and then the majority shareholder, and has watched year after year us go out and spend money, finish fourth, spend money, finish fourth, spend money, finish fifth, yeah, sixth, right? Then the empty seats, all the empty seats, a couple of protests, empty seats. He sends his son over to England and he fucking sacked everyone because he went, yo, dad, man, hey, dad, hey, pa, they've completely fucked the club, man, yeah? And he went, bang, sack them all, yeah? Sacked. They're all sacked. So, listen, at the end of the day, why the fuck is he going to throw money into a club that he brought to not throw money into? But then after his sons told him how fucked we are, why the fuck is he going to throw his own money into a club that has spunked their own money? Why would he do that? Come on, man. Let's use a little bit of logic here. But that don't get you retweets. That don't get you likes. That don't get you traction on social media. So, listen, at the end of the day, I don't want him as the owner of this football club. But all the shit that's thrown at the guy is complete bollocks. He didn't decide to swap Sanchez. He didn't decide to let Ramsey run out this club for nothing. All these other players that have gone, Van Persie and all them ones. So he hasn't done all of that. He left it in control. And anybody who owns a business pays people in a position of power to run that business for them, so they don't have to. Now that is no different in football. Yeah, some owners are more passionate than others. Some owners will turn up every week. This guy doesn't want to. Yeah, that's up to him. He owns the football club. Yeah, but Arsenal fans want to protect the Messiah that got sacked and blame it all on this guy who should have sacked him 5 years ago. That's the only thing I criticise that guy for, is not sacking Wenger 5 years ago. Because if he'd sacked him 5 years ago, we'd be here now going, do you know what? We're just about to sign an £80 million player, a £70 million player. We're fucking runners up in the league, maybe even Champions League, whatever. Instead, we're 5 years behind because he didn't sack him 5 years ago. So there we go. There's my rant. I can breathe now. I can breathe. But yeah, reactionary is exactly what our fans are. Reactionary about absolutely anything. One last thing as well before I read some of your questions and thoughts, yeah, is Bielik. This guy, I was speaking to Chig earlier, right? I was speaking to Chris. Bielik. This guy has played 2 games for Arsenal, first team. 2 games. He's 2 years older than Reece Nelson. He goes on loan to Charlton in League One. I'd expect him to look good at fucking Charlton. They're 2 divisions lower. We've signed him for a reason, because he's a good player. Yeah, now he's gone to Charlton on loan, and yes, he's had a great season. Well done to him. Helps him get promoted. But now it's, oh, he has to start. He scores a goal the other night or whatever the fuck it was he's done. The whole of Twitter's in meltdown. Oh, we need to get him in the team. He's fantastic. Fucking based on what? Based on what? I'd rather have Mustafi at centre-back than that guy. I would rather have Granit Xhaka in the starting 11 over that guy if he's going to play in that midfield spot. If he's playing at centre-back, I'd rather have Mustafi. The reactionary levels of this fan base at times, it's so frustrating. Then the same people that rate this Bielik after playing just 2 games for Arsenal, are mugging off Reece Nelson, who has played 16 games for Arsenal, so 8 times more games, and actually went on loan to a fucking decent league. Come on. No, he's not ready yet. He's not ready. But Bielik is, based on fuck all. Seriously, man. It's thank fuck this club is not in the hands of us as fans. Yeah, seriously, because it would be fucked. We'd still have Jeff Rene Adelaide and fucking Zellerman in midfield. Do you know what I'm saying? Fucking hell. But yeah, there we go. I can breathe now. Nuno, thank you very much for that, mate. And to you, VP. I'm actually on the Budweisers tonight. The little cans, having a nice little chilled one. Just had a nice pizza, a little bit of Domino's. And yeah, man, just chilling. So yeah, there's my rant. Excuse me. Bielik is fire. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it, mate. Arsenal fans were gassed about Joel Campbell after the World Cup in 2010, says Brent. There you go, mate. Says all we need to know. Says all we need to know. And that's the thing. You know, Jeff Adelaide does one little bit of skill in the Emirates Cup, and oh, we should play him. We should play him. What? Because he done a skill against a shit team in an Emirates Cup. I just find it hilarious. I find it so funny that never heard you rant for this long. Mate, it's just all built up. I've seen so many things today on Twitter. Yeah. And I've just sat there and I'm thinking, do you know what, right? I swear, I'm so glad this club is not run by the fan base. Yeah. It's just a miracle. Like, you know, this fan base would have you believe that we've got like £0, 0 pence to spend. Hello, Lee. How are we going to do anything with only £40 million? Only joking, son. Someone's going to say it, though. Do you know what? I started reading that. I was thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to go through all this again. But no, thanks for that, mate. Appreciate your donation, buddy. Arsenal Twitter gets triggered too easy, says Ads Campbell. They do, mate. They do. That's why I'm staying off of it. I've been on it a couple of times today, tweeted a couple of things, but that's about it. Can you run all the way in that American accent? Do you think that was a good American accent? Any Americans, let me know. I'd rather blow the budget on one player than cheap flops. Mate, the £40 million budget, I'm so bored of saying this, but I'm going to say it again for anyone who's missed it. £40 million can buy you £100 million worth of footballers. So, yeah, I'm not repeating myself anymore. Can't be asked to keep going over it. Anybody who thinks that's not the case, last summer we done £80 million on transfer fees without wages and without agent fees and signing on fee for Lichtsteiner, and we only had a £50 million budget. So it ended up being over £100 million with wages and agent fees and stuff. So it was double what our budget was. So there we go. For 15 million quid, would you never watch Arsenal again? Bruv, I was born Arsenal, man. You genuinely couldn't give me enough money to stop watching Arsenal. As much as they piss me off, and as much as I get upset watching them sometimes, and like upset watching the social media meltdowns and the reactionary levels of our fans, I'd never swap it because I love Arsenal, man. I love the club. I love football. Lingard ran. No, do you know what? Do you know what? Actually, I will speak about Lingard, yeah? Why is everyone having a meltdown about Lingard? Just because he was in a hotel room with Rashford and he was swearing and his mate was humping a pillow? Like, why does anyone care? The guy's on holiday. What's the issue? It's like all these people that are slagging him off. You've all been on lads' holidays. You've all got up to shit on holiday. You've all sworn. You probably swear in front of your kids. I swear in front of my kid. My kid ain't ever going to swear. Yeah, it's how you bring your kids up. So like all these people saying, oh, well, if my kid was watching that and stuff like this, well, maybe your kid should understand right from wrong then, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I swear in front of my daughter, especially when football's on, yeah, she hears everything. Or when I'm playing FIFA, she never once swears. I've never once heard my kid swear. So, you know, at the end of the day, Jesse Lingard's a 27-year-old that acts like a 12-year-old. He's an absolute bellend, which is why I don't watch anything that involves Jesse Lingard. But when I see the meltdown earlier, I was like, let me go and check this video out. And I was like, people are going on like he's fucking killed someone. When all he's doing is swearing, yeah, and running around like a twat in a hotel room. That's Jesse Lingard, isn't it? Why is everyone in meltdown over it? You can tell that Arsenal and Man United are in dire straits right now because we got meltdowns over Aubameyang liking an Instagram post. And they're crying about Lingard fucking swearing. He's a prat. Do you know what? I can't stand him, mate. But listen, I don't like the guy. I don't watch anything he does. Yeah, but at the end of the day, the way everyone's going on about it was like he'd done something terrible. It's like, come on, man, he's pissed up. You know, I've done a video pissed. He's done a video pissed. What's the issue? You know, just because he plays for Man United, and what? Roy Keane was going out getting smashed. Roy Keane was fucking whacking up fucking managers and shit. Do you know what I'm saying? But no, Jesse Lingard's not allowed to go and get pissed on holiday, really. Would you go from Sessegnon from Fulham and Dembele from Lyon? I'll tell you what, that's a good question, Benjamin. Thank you. That Dembele from Lyon fucks me off on FIFA. I swear, he's so overrated on that game. His team of the season card's a joke. But I don't think that I would go for Dembele. He's a good player, but I don't think he's that good. Sessegnon, I think could be. I think Sessegnon's got the highest ceiling out the two. But Fulham fucked up. They should have sold him last summer. They would have got double what they'd get for him now. Would you take Thiago from Bayern? Says Omar. Nope, not for me, mate. Would you take Thiago Silva? No, I wouldn't. I'm still mad that we didn't get Suarez. Are you on about Dennis Suarez or Luis Suarez? Another masterstroke. 40 million and one. Another masterstroke. Jesus Christ. You could actually make a film about our football club, couldn't you? Fucking all the fuck-ups over the years. Would you take Joachim, fucking whatever his name is, Anderson, says Jacob. I think I would, mate. I think I would have him at Arsenal, to be honest with you. J Rob, thank you for your donation, my friend. Hello, mate. Was listening in the car. Love this channel. Thank you for your support, mate. Appreciate it. I'm supposed to be asleep, but you have kept me awake. Your rant has kept me awake. Thanks for that. Go sleep, man. Go sleep. Don't let me keep you awake. The film would be a comedy with lots of Benny Hill music in it. Yeah, it would, mate. Or clown music. Like, something like that. Do you know what I'm saying, mate? It'd be fucking hilarious. Well, why do you look at me? Because it's your press conference, Arson. That was fucking classic. I'll never forget that. 525 people watching live right now. Thank you very much to all 500 odd. Please put a like on the video. It shares the content around indirectly, because the more likes, the more feeds that goes on to of people that are not subscribed, especially on a live show. So drive the likes up. When I get to 20k, I'm doing a podcast. It'll be a regular thing. Already got 8 people lined up to come on that now. So, excuse me. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed. Over 18,200 right now. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, you lot are mad. The comments are lit all the time. The shares are mad as well. Press the share button, get it on your social medias. I can see how many people share it. It doesn't tell me who shares it, but it tells me how many share each video. The shares are pretty relentless as well. So thank you very much for that. Marauder Star says, would you consider doing a FIFA 19? What transfers I would do? Not sure. Probably not, mate, to be honest. A lot of people ask me about FIFA content, though. It's not something I really want to do right now, but I may do going forward. Jota or Anderson of West Ham, says Balua, the Daydreamer. I would take... Anderson, Felipe Anderson. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd take him. I think he's a fantastic player. We need a song for your podcast. Who should be our captain? Bellerin ? Says Primal. Bellerin should be nowhere near captain, mate, for me. Not a chance in a million years would I make that guy captain. Weak mentality. For me, I'd give it to Socrates or Laka. Laka leads by example, and so does Socrates. So either of them, they both fight for the team. They both run through walls for the team more often than not. Yes, they have bad days, but they have less bad days than most people in that squad. So either one of them for me. Rabba says, will Leyton Orient manage to stay up in League Two? Do you know what? That club used to be such a good club, man. When Sitton was down there, John Sitton, do you remember that? And you could bring your fucking dinner. And he follows me on Twitter. He's sound, man. I speak to him quite often. Really nice guy. But yeah, I think they probably will stay up. I think they probably will, to be honest with you. Can we get Nyan Golan? I hope not. Another one that's overrated because he's got a load of funky tattoos and a shit barnet. Simon says, mate, I love your content. Been following you since your Gunner Bang channel. But you need to join the Cronky out. Bruv, I can't join something I don't believe in, man. I can't. You know, at the end of the day, it's not him. It was the previous regime for me. So yeah, I can't jump on a bandwagon if my heart ain't in it, mate. And my heart ain't in that because he weren't the issue. That's just my opinion on it. There's a lot of people that do agree. There's thousands that don't agree. But like I said, talk is cheap. Bergkamp or Brady, says Daz. Bergkamp all day long, mate. All day long. Best player we've ever had. Gary says, evening, Lee. Haven't missed a live stream for a while. Still recovering from my eye surgery. But yeah, we need to meet up for a Stella and a chat football soon. Gary from Hemel. You're not far from me then, man. Yeah, I remember speaking to you before, actually. Hope your eye's all right, mate. Hope that's all good. All the surgery's all good. Well, thanks for tuning in again. I appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you that does every night. There's always lots of people. There's constantly over 500 people watching my streams, which is mad. Yeah, I know I've got 18,000 subscribers, but when you do streams and you've got 500 constant viewers, that don't half add up. So thank you very much to all of you that do that. Guna Eagle Eye, if you haven't subscribed to him, you can. How far off 5K are you now, Chief? Go and subscribe to him. Get him up to 5K. Says, I am convinced signings have been made in secret. What do you think has been made signing-wise? I think Martinelli will be done. I think he'll get his Italian passport. There you go. 300 odd away from 5K. So go and subscribe to him now. I think Martinelli will be done. I personally think we're going to get Ryan Fraser. I'm not saying it'll be done right now, but I do think we're going to get Ryan Fraser. There's two ways that Fraser thing can go, right? Is either hang him for a new deal, which I don't think he's going to, or it's just a playing a game. Like he's coming out with the right things to play the game, which is fair enough. He's a Bournemouth player. Why would he say that? You know, he's not flattered by Arsenal's interest. Why would he not say that? We're a big club. We might not be as big as we used to be, but we're still a fucking big club. So yeah, I do think we will sign Ryan Fraser. But we shall see. We shall see what happens, and it's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks because we fly out to America very soon. In about what, 3 weeks is it? Yeah, it's about 3.5 weeks, and there's only 7 weeks of the transfer window. It shuts 7 weeks today. So yeah, 7 weeks today that transfer window shuts. So in 3.5 weeks. We're flying out to the US. If we haven't got any new players in that squad flying out to the US, there's going to be a fucking steward's inquiry. Best manager you'd take if Emery weren't the manager right now, says Ryan Wilson. I'd take Espirito Santo, mate, from Wolves if Emery weren't the manager. Good evening, DJ Fury. Thank you for watching again, mate. Appreciate that. Lee Gunner to be manager, says Luke. I'd take Klopp at Arsenal. Bruv, so would I, but our fans decided that it was disrespectful to coat off the last manager. So Klopp never came. Same with Pep. They wanted to keep the previous manager, mate. So we could have had Pep Guardiola. Just think how good we'd be with him. Or even Klopp. You know, I remember Arsenal fans when Klopp was being linked to us saying, no, he's crap. He's never won nothing. He's done this. He's done that. He's never done this. He's no good at this. Yeah, now look at him. Don Robbie should be our manager. Arsenal fans are snobby. That's exactly the word. That was the word I was looking for earlier. They are snobby, mate. They are very snobby. Too many players that get linked to us. Oh, no, he ain't good enough. He ain't good enough. Well, fucking James Milner is good enough for Arsenal. Yeah, he's good enough for Liverpool. He's good enough for Arsenal. Jordan Henderson's good enough for Liverpool. He's good enough for Arsenal. If we sign Jordan Henderson or James Milner, this fan base would cry. They would cry. But there you go. Right, I'm going to do 2 more minutes and I'm going to get myself out of here. Do you think Man City will win the Champions League and Liverpool win the league next season, says Mohol Tapis? No, I think it'll actually be Real Madrid that win the Champions League next season. They've spent a fucking fortune already, and they're signing some very good players right now. And I think Man City will win the league again. Thanks for not signing Klopp, says Rava. Mate, I'll tell you what, it must be so like great being a Liverpool fan right now. Do you know that? Yeah. And like, it's just like so jealous being an Arsenal fan because you're looking over at Liverpool thinking, well, they ain't won the league for so long, but do they give a fuck? No. They came so close this season and then they went and won the Champions League. And it's like, no, I'd take that right now. I'd take that in a heartbeat. All you Arsenal fans on here right now need to see the light because we are being deceived, says Ahmed Umar. What do you mean, mate? Elaborate and I'll read it if I can find it. Go on, tell me what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Play our young players and plan for the future, says Luke. Couldn't agree more, mate. They couldn't be any worse than the shit we've currently got. Would you sell Aubameyang to Barcelona for 10 million and get Titi and Malcolm as part of the deal? I think I would, even though I don't want them, Titi. I think I would take that deal, mate, because you fix 2 problems. Yes, you've lost your top goal scorer, but you plug 2 gaps. Can Chelsea win the league without Hazard, says Kartik. That is a very good question, mate, and that is something we're about to find out. Everything that comes out is all rumours. Yeah, absolutely everything's rumours, mate. I think we all know that, to be fair. But at the same time, a lot of it is simmering away in the background. So obviously it gets leaked out. if we were really interested in signing players, a big club like Arsenal, it would be nothing to get all of these so-called players we're being linked with. No disrespect, mate, but I think you need to go and like figure out where we're at right now as a club, because we're not a big club. We're not acting like a big club. We are a big club, but we're not a big club, if that makes sense. We're not going to go out and spend £400 million on players, mate, or 200 million, or even 150 million. So yeah, we ain't going to do that. We're not linked to anyone big. No, exactly. Do you know what? I'm glad we're not linked to anyone big, because we've done that. Ozil flopped. Fucking Mustafi flopped. Xhaka's flopped. Yeah, if you look at their careers, all three of them at Arsenal, they've all failed to deceive, and they've all been absolutely taking the piss for too long. So I don't want us to spend big money. Mkhitaryan flopped. So yeah, I don't want us to go and spunk stupid money on £80 million players. I want us to go and buy players that are run through brick walls and do a job that's required week in, week out to push us up the table. So yeah, fuck the big players, fuck their massive wages. I want players that want to play for the football club. And Reece Nelson's coming out saying the right thing, saying when he comes back from the under-21s, he wants to speak to the manager, he wants to see where he's at, and they're going to sit down and have a chat and see whether he's going to be playing this year. That is the kind of player I want to play for my club. Right, anyway, I'm going to get myself out of here. I will be back at 7 AM with the daily transfer update, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Subscribe, turn the notification bell on as well, because that always helps. You will never miss a show. And also turn your notification settings on your phone for YouTube, because even if you turn the bell on here, unless you've got the notifications on your phone, you are not going to get the notification. Also, leave a like on the video. Thank you to over 550 people watching live. And I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks to everyone in the chat, everyone who donated, and everyone who took part in the stream. Thank you very much. Laters, peeps.